Teams that Baker Mayfield can lead a franchise with. All right. So are we going to roll with Washington? Are you going to stick with no?
Nah, I'm saying no.
Saying no.
I think
Brandon?
he can. I think he can lead.
Lead to
Seattle.
what? Sorry. Lead to what exactly? The playoffs? Playoff
I'm
wins?
saying that this guy can be a face of the franchise with.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that.
Whatever team I'm naming, this is Baker Mayfield's new home.
Thompson. I think that he can. I think he's better than Carson Wentz. I think he's better than Heineke. You got Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Dotson,
You have the weapons,
Antonio
but I don't
Gibson.
like the coaching for Baker. And for that reason, I'm not sure how consistent he'll be in that setting.
I'm higher on Riverboat Ron than you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The Giants.
No.
Already declined Daniel Jones' fifth-year option.
No.
They're going to bring back DJ, but for the sake of this argument, yes. With Brian Dable, who we'll be working with every single day, not a doubt in my mind, he surely could. But they're going to need an extra receiver going off Wandale next year.
Okay. The team playing on TV right now, the Indianapolis Colts.
No. Terrible
No.
offensive line, limited receivers, head coach.
No idea who the head coach is going to be next year.
Oh, thank you.
No.
Okay. So to make it faster, I'm going to name just one more team. I feel like this team's overperformed. I'm going to say the Seattle Seahawks.
No. Could have had him last year. Could have had him before the season. F off.
Okay, Baker.
Straight up. Straight up. Could have had me for a trade. You decided not to. You wanted to go with Geno Smith. You disrespected me. I'm not going there.
Were they disrespecting Baker, or after seeing Geno in their building for 3 seasons, Pete Carroll said, I want to keep this guy who got to learn from the likes of Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and Russell Wilson, got to sponge all of that knowledge in, and after all of the years of learning and growing, and then last year playing really good in the 3 games Russell Wilson missed, they said, you know what, we're going to ride Geno. I think it's the latter. They liked Geno so much, they didn't want to bring in Baker to be a backup quarterback because they liked what they already had.
Well, he would have beaten Geno out for the job, but
not true. Geno's a better quarterback than Baker.
I could see Seattle being a good fit because, you know what, as great as Geno's been this year, I don't think any of us are going to say this is a franchise guy. This is who the Seahawks should be leaning on going forward. So if you can go with a younger option, a former #1 overall pick who can play with those weapons that you have, Kenneth Walker is fantastic. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and the draft pick that at the moment it seems like they're going to have the #3 overall pick. So this is a team that's only getting better. So while yes, they can draft a quarterback, or you can draft another skill position, another O lineman, somebody on the defensive side. And then you bring in a guy like Baker, who I mentioned earlier, is loved by his teammates. He's a great he just brings a great attitude, I feel. Like Brandon said, you can't root against the guy. No, Brandon's the only reason we'll root against him.
Sounds good. I'll tell you a team. I know you don't want to hear it. You're wearing their shirt. San Francisco 49ers definitely should call him. Trey Lance, you have no idea what he's going to be. Okay, you don't. And what we saw of him, he got injured very quickly. Jimmy Garoppolo, you're going to keep testing that fire.
I think Jimmy's gone after the year is over.
Yeah, Brock Purdy.
Undefeated as a starter.
Yeah,
never lost.
Yeah. And Baker's a better quarterback than him, so he can lead you farther.
I don't know if San Francisco want to have 3 different quarterbacks for all deserving. Yes, Baker would fit in San Francisco, but truth be told, I would rather roll the dice with Lance, who I kind of trade up to get with the 3rd overall pick, and also while seeing how well their backup has performed.
Well, they're gonna have to start having a conversation about whether it's Brock Purdy or Trey Lance.
I also think we need to recognize Baker is not a fit for the Niners offense. That's targeting the middle of the field a lot, and that's not his strength. I don't know if he'd be best utilized there. And for Kyle Shanahan, he's run that offense before in Cleveland, but there's an even larger emphasis.
The offense is put the ball in the playmaker's hands.
But Baker doesn't see the middle of the field particularly well.
Samuel.
Yeah, but
that's bootlegs.
I think the 49ers are in a great spot. I mean, look at where they're at right now, record-wise. My NFC favorite.
Are they next year? No, next year I'm talking about next year.
I still think they are.
Sure, because they're going to have to start having a conversation. I'm being serious. If Brock Purdy, which you guys believe, can lead them to the Super Bowl, and let's say they win, there is going to be a dead-ass conversation that needs to be had. whether you're going with Brock Purdy for the remainder of his career or Trey Lance. And if you choose Brock Purdy, you are admitting defeat about picking Trey Lance, and that was a catastrophic failure.
But you
I'm
know,
gonna
but you know
put
what?
facts
It
into
can't be
that.
that catastrophic if it comes out with a Super Bowl trophy on top. So
No,
really, you
no,
did mess
because
that.
he wasn't the reason. No, that's
You're right. But
completely
you know
different.
what? At that point, you're like, we fluffed on that pick. That sucks. We
No,
gave up too
that's
much.
not how it's
But
going to look.
we get a
That's
Super
not what you're
Bowl
going
in
to say.
return, so it's okay. And the reason why I say so, there's a saying in baseball that I feel like applies here to the 49ers, and it's that you can never have too much pitching. And I don't think you can ever have too much in that QB room. Obviously, it can cause a little bit of controversy, but if you have
No,
1, 2, I
Justin,
mean, look at the Patriots
Justin,
the year that Tom Brady got suspended. You had
Justin.
Jimmy G there. Jimmy G went down. Then you have
And then
Jacoby
what
Brissett,
happened?
and then Brady comes back.
No, but then what happened? What happened after that was literally caused where we are right now. Because there's an old saying, I forget who said it. It might have been Bill Parcells. He's got a lot of quotes. If you got two quarterbacks, you don't got one. You don't got any quarterbacks. You can't have more than
Okay.
one. Name me the position where this has worked out in the past, where if you have more than one starting quarterback, it's worked out. It doesn't work out.
Okay.
Eventually,
Hear me
it
out.
flames out.
Look
And
at it.
then,
Look at a team like the Cleveland Browns right now. Albeit not looking fantastic
yeah, but
this year.
Jacoby's not a starting caliber quarterback. He's a good
Jacoby
backup.
Nah, he was awesome this year.
he
Put some
played very
respect on
well.
his name.
So that's what I'm
Mm,
saying.
was
You
awesome.
never know what these quarterbacks can actually turn into. Jimmy G, you weren't high on Jimmy G. Nobody knows what Trey Lance is, and we're figuring out what the hell Brock Purdy is right now. But one thing that we can tell you about Jimmy G is he's a winner. One thing that we can tell you about Trey Lance is he's supremely talented, which is why he was drafted so high. And Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. We didn't know a damn thing about him until this year. And all that we know, we're starting to learn, he's a pretty all right quarterback. I mean, they're undefeated with him as a starter right now. And I think everybody in the league outside of you is very confident in the playoffs with Brock Purdy under center right now. So I think this is a good problem to have, because if the 49ers go on to win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, that shows, one, they probably have their quarterback.
And also, real quick, I know we're wrapping this thing up. Trey Lance is a mystery box. Trey Lance is a project. Trey Lance has started in just 3 games in his career. The 4th he got hurt. Trey Lance should sit behind somebody for another year and then work his way in. Because of that, when you see Brock Purdy winning these games, there's not as much pressure on Lance to come in immediately, because you're seeing they come in with his backup. And so for Kyle Shanahan, he knows, look, I can roll with either guy, and because Lance hasn't proven anything, we can work him in slowly but surely as he continues to progress and get more live game reps in the process.